George Kambosos Jr. versus Teofimo Lopez. Going into this fight, Teofimo Lopez was one of boxing's biggest stars. He had just defeated Vasily Lomachenko to become the unified lightweight champion and was widely considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Across the ring stood George Kambosos Jr., an unbeaten Australian challenger who most fans expected to lose. But from the opening rounds, Kambosos showed he belonged. He stunned Lopez with a knockdown in the first round and refused to be intimidated. Although Lopez scored a knockdown of his own in the 10th, Kambosos recovered and finished the fight strongly. After 12 rounds, the judges awarded George Kambosos Jr. a split decision victory, making him the new unified lightweight champion. It was one of the biggest surprises of the modern era. Barkley versus Thomas Hearns. Thomas Hearns entered this fight as one of the most dangerous punchers boxing had ever seen. Many expected him to defeat Barkley comfortably. Early on it looked exactly that way. Hearns boxed brilliantly and landed heavy shots throughout the fight. But Barkley refused to back down. In the third round, he unleashed a series of punches that overwhelmed Hearns, forcing the referee to stop the contest. Against almost everyone's expectations, Barkley became the new WBC middleweight champion. It's still remembered as one of the greatest comeback knockouts in boxing history. McCall versus Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was the reigning WBC heavyweight champion and one of the most feared heavyweights on the planet. McCall was respected, but very few believed he could beat Lewis. Then came the second round. McCall landed a perfectly timed right hand that sent Lewis crashing to the canvas. Lewis struggled to beat the count, and the referee stopped the fight. Just like that, McCall became heavyweight champion. It remains one of the biggest heavyweight shocks of the 1990s. Spinks versus Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali had already established himself as one of the greatest fighters in history. Spinks, meanwhile, had only 7 professional fights. Almost nobody believed he was ready. Yet over 15 rounds, Spinks fought with relentless energy and refused to be overwhelmed by Ali's reputation. When the final scores were announced, Spinks had won by split decision. In one night, he became the heavyweight champion of the world. Although Ali reclaimed the title in their rematch later that year, Spinks' victory remains one of the most unlikely championship wins ever. Ruiz Jr. versus Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua entered Madison Square Garden as an undefeated unified heavyweight champion. His original opponent had withdrawn, and Ruiz Jr. accepted the fight on short notice. Many fans saw Ruiz as little more than a replacement opponent. Early in the fight, Joshua knocked Ruiz down. It looked like the expected result was unfolding. Instead, Ruiz responded immediately, dropping Joshua twice in the same round. Joshua never fully recovered. Ruiz scored 2 more knockdowns before the referee stopped the fight in round 7. Ruiz Jr. became the first heavyweight champion of Mexican heritage and produced one of the greatest heavyweight upsets of the century. Rahman versus Lennox Lewis. By 2001, Lennox Lewis had established himself as the world's best heavyweight. Rahman was viewed as a capable challenger, but few experts expected him to win. Lewis appeared flat throughout the contest. In the 5th round, Rahman landed a devastating right hand that knocked Lewis unconscious. The image of the heavyweight champion lying motionless on the canvas became one of boxing's most iconic moments. Lewis would later avenge the defeat in a rematch, but the first fight remains one of the sport's biggest surprises. Calzaghe versus Jeff Lacy. Jeff Lacy arrived in Britain with enormous hype. Many believed he would overpower undefeated champion Calzaghe and become the next American superstar. Instead, the exact opposite happened. Calzaghe completely outboxed Lacy for 12 rounds. He landed combinations at will, controlled the pace, and made one of boxing's most dangerous punches look ordinary. The judges awarded Calzaghe a wide, unanimous decision. Rather than Lacy announcing himself as a superstar, it was Calzaghe who cemented his place among boxing's elite. Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. No upset in boxing history is more famous than this. Mike Tyson was undefeated. He was the undisputed heavyweight champion. Most importantly, he looked unbeatable. James Buster Douglas entered the fight as a massive underdog. Very few people believed he had any chance. For 10 rounds, Douglas produced the performance of his life. He boxed brilliantly, used his jab perfectly, and repeatedly caught Tyson with clean combinations. In the 8th round, Tyson knocked Douglas down. Many expected the fight to end there. Instead, Douglas beat the count, regained control, and in the 10th round landed a combination that sent Tyson to the canvas for the first knockout loss of his professional career. The undefeated champion was gone. The most feared man in boxing had been beaten. More than 3 decades later, Buster Douglas defeating Mike Tyson is still widely regarded as the greatest upset in boxing history.